Okay, we are live streaming. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Sorry for the late start, everyone. Lots of technical difficulties this morning. At this time, I would like to remind council and municipal staff that this meeting is being live streamed to the public. All council meetings are also recorded. Recordings will be available to the public on the township's YouTube account. This meeting is held electronically under bylaw 2020-70 to amend procedural bylaw 2018-117 pursuant to section 238 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended. First, we have the adoption of the agenda. Council, I'm going to ask your indulgence. I would like to make a short announcement under delegations. So if that is okay with you, I guess I'll ask that the recommendation is that the council and committee agenda for Tuesday, August 2nd, 2022 be approved as amended. And could I get a mover, please? I don't even know who did that first. Moved by Councillor Wilmer, seconded by Councillor Schulist. Any discussion on that? All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. I'd like to give the First Nations land acknowledgement. As we gather today, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. And we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest this morning?
None here.
Okay, I'm not seeing any. And with that, we'll move to delegations. And as I said, I'm just going to give a short announcement. Good morning, everyone. Being mayor of Madawaska Valley these past 8 years has been both challenging and rewarding. The work has required a significant time commitment. This is not a part-time job. After a great deal of personal reflection and discussion with family, I am announcing that I will not be seeking re-election this fall. With recent family health changes, I find it's time to refocus my energies and put family first. I ran for mayor because I wanted to make positive change. It has been an honor to serve the people of our community and lead the municipality into a period of revitalization and growth. Much has been accomplished by finding common ground on council and respecting the contributions of municipal staff. It's been a real privilege working with CAO Suzanne Klatt and our professional municipal staff to build the team that is ready to serve our community's evolving needs. Together, we have opened up access to council decisions by making it easy to watch our meetings on YouTube and to get meeting documents from our website. The public now has a say in determining our community's needs and in strategic planning for the municipality's future. We are actively planning and budgeting to take care of municipal roads and buildings, including projects like resurfacing Paw Lake Road and replacing the more than 40-year-old ice surface at the arena. Councils have helped Valley Manor and St. Francis Memorial Hospital acquire land for the community's future healthcare needs at no cost to taxpayers.
Thanks so much.
New subdivisions are starting to build and old ones are being revitalized, resulting in new and expanded businesses and local job growth. I am very optimistic that our future will be bright. Madawaska Valley is one of the best places to live, work, raise a family, and enjoy all that a blend of rural community and cottage life has to offer. In Madawaska Valley, the mayor is also a member of Renfrew County Council. As a county councillor, I had the opportunity to lobby for the expansion of Highway 417 and to work with our MPP, John Yakubuski, on a number of important issues. I'd like to thank John for his help and support over the years, especially during the spring floods in 2017 and 2019. In 2019, I was thrilled to be elected by my peers to the board of the Rural Ontario Municipal Association, known as ROMA. This dynamic group of leaders is working on opportunities for rural Ontario in a post-COVID world and issues like the shortage of affordable housing in rural communities. As mayor, I've also had the privilege of serving with two very different councils. I'd like to acknowledge the care and effort each of these council members has brought to the work and thank them for their commitment and service to our community. We have accomplished much together. In my experience, public service is rarely easy, and it's not for the faint-hearted, but you can make a difference in your community, and that makes it worth it. Thank you all. All right, we're going to move into the council and committee portion of our agenda. And all recommendations of the standing committees are recommendations to council and are pending the approval of council at a subsequent meeting. Now, today we don't have any work under operations, roads and waste management. We also don't have anything under operations, water, wastewater and facilities on our agenda. So I'm really glad that Councillor Peplinski has been able to connect. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mayor. I'm sorry I missed 40 minutes, but technical issues at home and also in the office when I got here, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to meet the other two meetings, but I've just got connected with a lot of help. I'm still having a little bit of issue with hearing. I missed some of your words there, but I'm trying to adjust it here. So now I should be good to go and be able to be of some help.
Hopefully. Okay. I recognize that.
Okay, that's a little better.
Okay, you can hear me now?
You can, yes, I can. You can hear me?
We can hear you and we can see you.
Thank you. Technology is wonderful, isn't it?
It's been a rough day with tech, honestly. So we're at fire and protection and emergency management. So I'd like to turn it over to you, Chair Peplinski, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And I believe we probably have the chief with us this morning, do we? We have
Chair Peplinski.
Oh, there he is. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning.
Item 9, section. I'm wondering, instead of looking right at the stats right away, if you could perhaps speak to your report on page 7. And then perhaps we could, you can go through the entire run and then we could go back to the individual statistics, if that's okay with the committee. Is that fine for you?
Yeah.
It's fine by me.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm fine there, Councillor Peplinski. You hear me there?
Slightly.
I'll space get a little closer to the microphone. Can you hear me a little bit better now?
No, it's not, but please go through it. And if somebody has questions, to raise their hand, because I do not hear everything you're saying.
Okay. All right. First thing is fire department activities. We've the Madawaska Valley Fire Department, North and South Halls have attended May Day, Canada Day, and SEAL Blitz. During these 3 events, we've seen over 700 children and adults for fire prevention, which is a big step for the township for fire prevention. We did the fireworks again this year with no issues. And Madawaska Valley applied for a municipal climate resiliency grant back in April. We made it to step 2. We were not successful in step 3. So we did do pretty good, get at least step 2. But this we were not successful. Equipment maintenance. The air filling station was repaired in Murray's Bay. Pump tests have been done on 2012 and 2007, 2018 tanker and pumpers. The 2007, the governor has waited on that truck, which is our backup truck. So it's gone to Battleshield to be repaired. It hasn't come back yet. Should be later this week. For the training, we're still talking to the fire marshal's office, which is supporting us for the compliance or the certification. For all firefighters, they're working hand in hand directly with us. We will be meeting with our advisor later on in the year. They'll sit down and help me come up with a step-by-step plan to make sure we are compliant and feasible for the fire department and taxpayers. Ottawa is looking to open up its own fire training facility. They're looking for support from other like Renfrew County, Lanark County, Leeds, Granville, if they're interested in supporting it. It'd be an Eastern Ontario fire college type facility for us with full training with trainers and everything else. So there's looking to wonder if we're interested. They haven't come up with the cost for everybody yet until we figure out how many partners there want to be. Then we got to emergency management on June 6th. The deputy clerk, alternate CMC, and I met at the Horton Community Center for our annual or semi-annual meeting with the rest of the CMCs across Eastern Ontario. We met our new field officer that day. His name was Peter Habel. During the meeting, he also announced they're breaking emergency management away from Ontario Fire Marshal's office. They're breaking the more at the fire department, fire marshal's office sort of thing. They have their own emergency commissioner position, which is new for the government. So it'd be his own entity. It'd be answering to the government directly, not go to the fire marshal like the partnership. So emergency management now is a standalone entity in the government, which is the first time in the Ontario history. Then later on in June, Peter Habel, our field officer, come up and met Gwen and I in person, went over a few things on how to make compliance for the year again for their compliance tool. He seems to be very well versed in what he's doing. He's very interested in working with us. And he said he'll make sure compliance happens every year with us. If we have any questions, he's more than happy to come to meet with us. So he'd also happy to meet with council if they ever decide to use him as a delegation in the future. We just have to leave him about a month's notice. He'll show up at a council meeting to discuss whatever he'd like to do and also meet you. And then our fire call breakdown. You see the numbers are up to 56 calls this year, 4 more than we had entire last year. And you see the 43 for the North Hall, 31 for the South Hall. And then there's the percentages. So I'm not sure if anybody has any questions about that at the moment or wants any more detail. I'm more than happy to answer to them.
Has your presentation has been breaking up a lot for me. I don't know if that's the same for others, but we have the report. So if there's any questions that council has, just raise your hands because, like I said, I've missed a little bit of it, but I can sort of read between the lines where we're at on the page. But if there's anybody that's got any questions, just raise your hand so we don't miss it. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't see anyone's hand up at the moment. I don't see, is Councillor Schulist with us this morning?
Yes, he is. His
Oh,
hand has
okay.
not risen.
Okay, thank you. I just don't see him. So I don't want to miss anyone. It's just that make sure it's good. So, okay, if you could proceed, Chief.
Okay, I'll move on to the bylaw activities. Like I said, the first one's a bylaw update. Compliance officer been very busy doing follow-ups and dealing with complaints. The compliance officer had a great deal of assistance. You can see by the amount of reports and how busy he's been. He's also on vacation, so while he's on vacation, he replaced me as a bylaw officer. Any complaints we've got, we had somebody in place to take care of those calls. We are also now using the CGIS system to log calls, so everybody can see how many times went to certain addresses. It's a much better system than anything else we've ever had. It also prevents me from duplicating reports. Him handing me information, I handing you information, saved a lot of time that way. And you'll see the new reports are on the back of the report here that we have. We're just wondering, do you prefer that? Have one report shows everything that's going on with nice clean lines as opposed to duplicating it. So I just want to see which way council wants to go. It's like it does save a ton of time. It's up to date as of before the meeting. So that's one big, huge thing that the CEO did definitely help us with and assist with. It's an excellent, excellent tool. I just want to pass that along. New signs have been installed at Wadsworth Beach for pets not being on the beach. We installed 6 new signs there due to the high volume of complaints of animals being on the beach at different times. It's been patrolled regularly throughout the days, evening, usually in the mornings and the afternoons. Whoever's out, myself or the compliance officer, will check on that. We've also done a couple checks on the weekends at the Mayflower Beach also when we're out. So that's so far it's been going good. We have found a few people, no tickets have been issued, but it is going along a lot better than it was. The education seems to be working. We have ordered new signage for Madawaska River Drive. There seems to be a problem up there with people using parking along the right of way there. That's a fire access for us. So we're making it a fire route. There'll be no parking signs put up along there. And that'll be enforced after we get the new signs installed, which hopefully they did this week. Oh, so far this year, we've been tracking all the fire bylaw complaints with noise, fire works, short-term rentals. I've got one short-term rental complaint so far this year. It was more fire related because there's no smoke alarms in the building. And I've had one fireworks complaint because the guy didn't realize he set him off a little too early in the afternoon. He was compliant after I spoke to him, educated him, never to give him a warning. He's apologetic and he apologized to the neighbors. He told me after. So those are the only two actual complaints we've had so far this year with either of those issues. Now, the big ones coming up is the closure of the Bossier Valley Pound. As of June 30th, to give us 90 days notice, the pound will be closed as September 30th because another municipality has pulled out and went to the OSPCA in Petawawa. So we are now looking for direction on how to proceed after the pound closure. There's one alternative besides the OSPCA or going to Faraday, see if their costs are. Tammy Beauchamp, the Bossier Valley Animal Control Officer, is looking to see if we can support her. She may want to take over that type of the business from the township, start her own kind of pound, I guess, subcontract to the township. But she's looking to see if Madawaska Valley be interested in supporting this as one of the alternatives. If not, we either have to go to see if we get a contract with OSPC in Petawawa, possibly the pound down in Faraday Township, or there's a pound, I believe, maybe in Renfrew. I'm not sure, but I know there's only two, but they're quite a bit more expensive than we currently pay. So we have to figure out which way we're going to. So I'm looking for direction to figure out which way to follow so we have a proper thing in place before September 30th. Then again, you see the letters attached to the from Bossier Valley dated June 30th, which is, like I said, it gives us 30 days notice from Annette Gilchrist, the CAO for Bossier Valley. It's an attachment. Then you'll see the report from the bylaw compliance officer showing what's in progress, what he's completed for complaints with sea containers, bunkies, and trailers, and zoning inquiries. And there's also in the pictures of the new signs that have been posted throughout for no camping on municipal property and no animals on beaches property. So there is a recommendation. I guess the CEO will probably read that. And if there's any questions before I let her hand over to the CEO, Councillor Poplinski, I'll answer them.
Okay, thank you, Chief. I'm just wondering if there's any questions by members of council on any of the subjects that you've highlighted. I don't see anyone's hand. However, I don't see Councillor Schulis, so if he could speak up if there is a question. Corey, there's the closure, of course, of the current facility for the dog pound. I take it that you've mentioned there are other options, and if you, because of the time constraints here, we're sort of up against the wall to come up with some solutions, right?
Yes.
So is there some sort of interim solution that we may have, even if it may be a temporary one? Is there anyone else prepared to provide that service for you and not an hour and a half away? We may have to look at Petawawa, but I'm not so sure that's the answer at the moment or for the short term.
Like I said, the short term is either Petawawa or Faraday Township are the two nearest towns that are closest to us. Unless this current animal control officer, Bossier Valley, if she is capable or is successful in opening up her own pound. Other than that, no, those are only two real closest options we got is Petawawa and like Faraday. If either one of them will accept it, OSPCA is taking the majority of the municipalities in Renfrew County right now. Like I said, Faraday is the other pound that's on the other side of Bancroft. So again, we're out quite a ways, but like I said, the animal control officer that is currently in Bossier Valley is hoping to look for support to try and get her own kind of thing going, from what I understand. So that's sort of where we're sitting at the moment. We're just looking for direction on how to follow up.
Okay, I'm sure that you'll keep us informed as to what's going on, and hopefully we'll have a solution to it soon. So thank you for your patience, and we'll see what we can what you come up with. Is that the extent of your report, Chief?
Yes, Councillor Poplinski, CEO Clyde is looking to speak. To your hands up.
I don't see anyone.
No, CEO Clyde has her hand up.
Okay, I don't see her. So please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. I do have a resolution giving direction to the bylaw enforcement officer to come
Yes.
back to council prior to September 30th with a solution for continuity of services. I do think that we have sufficient time with the 90-day period. It allows us yet full almost 2 months, like month and a half, to get that service. If you recall, I believe it was in March, we did do the investigations as to what services were out there. So that has already been done. It would just be a matter of us coming back with a recommendation from the animal control officer. So I feel reassured that they've given us sufficient time to come up with a solution or a recommendation, and there should be no discontinuation of service.
Thank you very much. It sounds like we're heading in the right direction. So
If
If
I
there's no
may,
further-
Chair, did you want me to read the recommendation?
that was what I was going to request, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
That council directs the bylaw enforcement officer to continue discussions with Bonashare Valley Township Animal Control Officer and other facilities to investigate other options to be implemented by September 2022 to ensure continuity of services.
Okay, and the other recommendation on 911 is that receive the activities, fire departmental activities report as information. We don't need a vote on that, I take it. 9.2 correspondence and information. And I noticed there was a
Chair, excuse me, Chair, I
please.
don't mean to interrupt. Can I get a mover and a seconder on that recommendation, please?
okay.
For the
Okay, well,
bylaw activities?
Councillor Wilmer. And second by I don't see.
I
any
see
hands up.
Councillor Bromwich's
Thank-
hand is up.
Thank you, Councillor Bromwich. Any
Thank you,
further
Chair.
comments? No objections, then motion is passed.
Thank you.
And
Could we vote?
I was, yeah, just give me a minute here. Okay, we'll have a vote on it and okay, all in favor? I don't see everybody, so it's
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out who's here and who's not. Okay,
Uh.
so Councillor Wilmer, I see, and I see the mayor. So motion's passed. Okay, thank you. And that included the one with accepting the statistics from the fire chief.
Yes, that was just there's no recommendation attached, just as information.
It's extremely challenging because I don't hardly hear anyone. I'm almost in just no sound. I wasn't able to get most of Corey's report, so hopefully everybody heard it. So if there's unfinished business, 9.3, is there anything? Okay, I don't see anything. So thank you, and I'll pass it back to the mayor.
Okay, thank you, Chair Paflinski. Our next committee is Recreation and Community Development, and I'm going to turn it over to Chair Wilmer.
Thank you, Mayor Love. Do we have, there's Hannah? Okay. We have 3 items on the agenda today for the Recreation and Community Development portion of the committee meeting. First item is, and the item for information is a report on the July-August recreation report from Hannah. So Hannah, if you could speak on this, that would be great.
Sure. Yes, this is just a nice general update of everything that's been going on the past few months for you. We have some information there on our summer programming, which has been going really well so far. Just this past weekend was the CO Blitz, which big congrats to the CO Rec Committee because it was fantastic. I know a few of you were there as well. I also have some information on the survey I put out for Lakeshore Park, just in preparation for the concept plan, as well as some general project updates. We have a number of big things going on, so I just have a couple project updates there, as well as just some miscellaneous stuff. So if anyone has any questions or comments about this report, I'm happy to answer them.
I just have one comment. I was just very pleased to see that we had 228 people respond to the Lakeshore Drive waterfront. That's quite good when we're doing a survey like that. So that's nice to see, and it shows there is interest in what we do with that. Mayor Love.
Thank you, Chair. I have actually 2 comments. First on the Lakeshore Park survey. Yes, it was really good to see that much input. And just to note, a couple of times I noticed people mention the water plant, but it is the wastewater plant. So there's some confusion about that, but obviously the issues, when you've got a $9 million wastewater plant, we can't move it. So I'm sure that our consultants that'll be looking at our survey results will be providing us with some recommendations that are doable and that can help us to enhance this park. And obviously we'll need to stage it over time if there's going to be significant features added to the park. My second thing I did want to comment on, I was not able to go to the CO Blitz this weekend, but I'm hearing that they did a fantastic job, and the Combermere Recreation Committee is a very small core group, a small committee. They may have managed to get a lot of people to help them to be able to pull off that event. And I'm thrilled that they did such a great job. And no small part of that would have been the leadership that I know that Shelley Micah has provided in getting the CO Blitz up and running again. And putting a lot of effort into that, her and the committee. So my congratulations to them. And I'm sorry I couldn't go, but again, I just can't take the risk with that many people being in that kind of exposure. But congratulations to them on a job well done. Thank you.
I would just like to echo those comments, Mayor Love, and I did attend in the afternoon, and just absolutely well organized. Everything was well done. Lots of activities to do, and again, I give credit to the organizing committee. They did a super job, and it was a great start and great to see the event back again. And I understand the dance concerts in the evening were well attended. I've seen photos and videos, and it looked very good. So congratulations to all.
Okay.
All right. Any other comments? All right. If not, we'll move on to the next item, which is the donation request from Barry's Bay and Area Minor Hockey Association. Anna, can you speak to this, please?
For sure. So the Hockey Association is looking to use the Arena Lounge for two events this month. They want to have a youth dance, obviously no bar, one evening, and then the second evening to have a dance for 19 and up with alcohol and a rent-or-run bar. They were requesting the donation fees be waived, and staff recommendation is that we use the charitable organization rate for these two fundraisers.
All right, we do have a recommendation on this. Are there any questions or comments on this? No, if not, Sue, can you read the recommendation then, please?
Through the chair, that council accepts staff recommendation to use the charitable organization rate for BBAMHA's 2 August fundraisers.
And could I get a mover? Councillor Poplinski, seconded by Councillor Schulis. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Carried. All right. All right, so the final item on the recreation part of the agenda is the terms and reference with the station keepers, and it's an update. So again, Hannah, could you go through this, please?
Sure. So this is just some housekeeping kind of stuff. So it's related to the insurance. So in previous years, their insurance has been paid for directly by the municipality. The station keepers aren't a committee of council, so it wasn't deemed that we should be paying their insurance. So they will, going forward, pay their own. But to offset those costs, the township is going to provide the station keepers with an annual operating grant, which is similar to other user groups in the township. So the amount will depend annually depending on the insurance costs, and for reference, last year it was $5.8860. And volunteers as well at station keeper events will be considered municipal volunteers. This is also just some insurance stuff, and then we will require lists of artifacts that are housed in the railway station, again, just to ensure everything's covered. So.
All right, are there any questions on this report? Mayor Love.
Thank you, Chair. Hannah, so we've talked to our insurance company and they know what we're doing and everything is good with the insurance company on this?
Yeah, big time. So this was a lot of
Okay.
conversations with our insurance provider as well as the station keepers. So we're all on the same page with this one.
Okay, thank you. That's super important because if something goes wrong, you don't want to find yourself in a position where the insurance won't cover it. So thank you, staff, for making sure that got done.
All right, are there any further comments? All right, well, I think that's another good news story. There are no correspondence and information or unfinished business, so that concludes the recreation portion of the meeting. I'll turn it back to Mayor Love.
Okay, thank you, Chair Wilmer. We are now going to do planning matters and statutory meeting under the Planning Act. And our first item is Bill 109. It is a report from our CAO. Sue, did you want to speak to this report?
It was more for information to advise council about Bill 109 and its implication. And as our manager of planning and development comes on board, it will be something that will be at the forefront and he'll be able to update you. Just wanted to ensure prior to the manager of planning coming on board that we had staff at the table, ensuring that there were updates and that we had input into some of the changes that will be coming up and how it will implicate the municipality.
Okay, thank you. So the County of Renfrew is obviously looking to do some updates to the official plan so that there's more consistency across the county for the various municipalities. And I'm presuming that a lot of this work is going to help us to minimize minor variances and zoning amendments and some of the things that are coming about because our official plan, our comprehensive zoning bylaw has not been updated yet. Is that the idea? They're going to be working on that?
Yeah, if you read through the summary, I think what we've identified are some of the challenges, and the thought was that this working group would propose some of the changes that would assist us as it pertains to one of the biggest areas of concern is because they've shortened the timelines, is having to give back percentages of the application fee. And so we're working around that. We don't want to be ratepayer to have to pay for development.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. No, I appreciate that information and thank you for going to this. And Luke is on board. He is with us this morning. I do believe this is your second day with Madawaska Valley. So welcome.
Thank you.
And I take it you'll be taking over being our liaison with the county on this.
Yes, yeah, I've already been living Bill 109, which has a lot of changes coming down the pipe for municipalities, like Sue said, including speeding up timelines, which really means that planners and staff are going to have to be on top of these development applications quickly to retain those fees that is used for processing and making decisions on these on development opportunities.
That's great. Really glad to have you on board and looking forward to both the county and ourselves being able to make this work within the timelines, because we don't want to be having to give back some of the planning fees that are necessary to cover the costs of doing the job of ensuring that planning is done well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any comments from council on this? All right, I'm not seeing any. Then we will move to our other municipal report, which is the building permit statistics for June 2022. Any comments, questions on those? I believe they are just for information, and Luke's getting a firsthand look at some of the things that are occupying the planning department and the building department. Okay, all right, so we're accepting both of those as information, and that would complete our planning section of the meeting. We'll move into finance and administration. Under municipal reports, we have financial software, online billing module, a request for funding, and this report is from Amanda, our treasurer. I wonder if Amanda is available. Might have got here, Amanda might be busy. Amanda? Okay, Sue, did you want to take us through this then? Amanda might be busy.
So yeah, so the background information is, if you recall, in 2020, the finance department converted our financial software from Assist to iCity, and we'd identified to council in a lengthy report the advantages and the phased-in approach we were hoping to take. And as we move through the processing of this, working through the software, that we would move towards online billing. And that was more, again, for the benefits of the ratepayers. So they had more access to their bills, on their taxes online. So basically what the treasurer is asking is that council grant staff, oh, there's Amanda there. She may want to speak to it before I read the recommendation.
Okay, hi Amanda. I know you
Hi.
were probably busy. Did you want to speak to your report on the financial software online billing module?
Sure. So when we converted to the new module, it was just a lot. So we had to halt the process of the online billing module, which is also the online town hall for ratepayers, to which the setup would allow them to look at their history, look at past tax billings and water billings, and then they can also, connect to pay online if they want or whatever. So it's a repository for all of their information. But at the time of conversion, it was just too much for us. So we said, please halt. So now that we've, come up to speed for the most part, we're ready to do that conversion, and then now is the perfect time, but we will have to pay for the training. So iCity is saying that it could take up to 59 hours for the training. So it all depends on, who's training and how much and how quickly we, catch on to it and stuff like that. But because there's the two platforms, the utility billing and the tax billing, it most likely will take that. And then within that email, you'll see there's also the annual maintenance, which is what we pay for our software anyways. So with the former program, we were at $21,000 annually. With this new platform right now, we're paying $16,500. So we would just at budget time be adding that additional $7,000 for the annual maintenance. So we would be coming in at close to what we were paying before, but have the extra on top of that for the ratepayers, because some of our ratepayers are international. And so this is helpful for them. And then a lot of people are moving to online billing as well. They like to be able to look at it. And we do here in the office charge for bill reprints. So this would allow them to just go on and reprint their bill as many times as they want without having any additional charges to their accounts, and also print off history, look at their payment histories without having to ask us for it, and then we wouldn't be charging them for that either. So I think it's a win-win for everybody. So we're just asking, we do have funds in the modernization fund that we received in 2019 or 2018. And that money is there for these purposes, to move us into digital platforms. So I think it's an excellent fit. We're ready to start, and hopefully council agrees with us and allows us to use some of those funds from the modernization reserve for this.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. Just a quick question. So this is going to be something that a taxpayer would sign up for. It's a voluntary situation.
Correct.
We're not changing all tax bills to online billing certainly at this point in time. It's just going to be, if you would like this service, you sign up for it.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
I've had many requests from seasonal ratepayers to have that kind of access, because often they are out of the country in the winter when the first tax billing comes, or if they do get a water and wastewater billing, they might miss that as well, because it's
Yes.
going to an address, but they're still away and missing the deadline to pay it. So
That's right. So there will be, I'm sure it's going to be a slow uptake as people learn to do this and sign up for it, but I think it'll be helpful for everybody.
okay, great. Thank you. Any questions, comments from council? Any questions for Amanda? Okay, I'm not seeing any. Sue, could you read the recommendation, please?
That council grant staff approval to proceed with iCity Town Hall module for the purpose of online and tax and utility billing setup with the funds to be drawn from the Modernization Fund Reserve in the amount of $13,275.
Okay, thank you. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Paplinsky, seconded by Councillor Wilmer. Any discussion on the recommendation? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Okay, thank you, Amanda. Correspondence and information. First, we have a resolution from Lake of Bays dated April 12th, 2022 regarding floating accommodations. It isn't actually asking for support, but does council have any interest in supporting it? Okay, I'm not seeing anyone. Sue.
I would just like to have council recognize that I think it's important that we support and acknowledge this notice of motion. Because even though at this time we do not have this issue on our waterway, I do believe it's just a matter of time. And I would like to be, we've discussed it with staff and we'll be discussing it with the new manager of planning and development, that we should be at the forefront of this now and be more proactive so that we do not have to be reactive because it's just a matter of time before we have to deal with this issue as well.
Okay, so does council would council prefer that we had our own resolution? That's maybe what they would prefer, so that the language is simplified and more generalized to the subject in general and the issues we're going to face. That might be a better approach than trying to support something that doesn't actually ask for a letter of support. Councillor Paplinsky.
Thanks, Mayor Love. I think that would be a wise decision because we would be then part of all the communication, hopefully from the levels of government that are dealing with this. And I understand that big challenge is that the waterways are controlled by the federal people. However, we need to look at other laws or whatever we need to do to introduce to protect the landowners in our community. And it's a much bigger problem for those that have gone on and checked this out on the internet. They're major problems, and it's so we're going to be playing catch up if we don't proact. So I think that would be the way to go. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Wilmer.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we should develop our own, but I think we can use parts of the Lake of Bays template to help us develop it. But I really think we need one that's drawn up in the Madawaska Valley.
Okay, thank you. If council concurs with that, Sue, could I ask that staff would do that you would draw us up a resolution for this council that we can send out as well? I think that would be important, and we can send it to AMO, Roma, and the ministers involved.
Yes, thank you for that.
Okay, so is council good with that direction?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we were on the right page here with this. Okay, so, oh, sorry, Councillor Schulist, I looked down and I missed you.
Yeah, listen, I agree with, putting something together for us, but we are still going to support this of the Lake of Bays, right? We're going to support their initiative here first, and then we can still act on it, or just, are we just
Okay.
going to just do on our own?
I think what I'm hearing is that council would like to do one on our own, so that we're
Okay.
also sending a very clear, strong message that is, if there's anything that needs to be customized for Madawaska Valley in our message, then we will
Okay.
get that in there. Sue, you had your hand up?
I was just going to reiterate what you just stated.
Okay. Well, we won't do that twice. Is that
Yeah.
okay, Councillor Schuler? So this will come back to us
Yeah,
once
yeah,
staff has had a chance.
I just wanted to understand that because Sue had said that we should be supporting Lake of Bays. So, okay, I'm fine with everything. Thank you.
Okay, so this will come back to us at a probably in a meeting, either the next meeting or the meeting after, depending on how much time it takes. Sue?
Just to add to Councillor Schulist's question, I will be sending just an email to the clerk, just advising how we'll be proceeding because I would like the municipality to also be included in their responses from the ministries that they've corresponded with.
Yes, that would be great. Okay, thank you very much, Sue. Our next item is a resolution from the town of South Bruce Peninsula dated July 22nd, 2022 regarding physician shortages in Ontario. And I don't know, in my agenda, this one was actually it wasn't here, it was at 12.2.8, but it is the same correspondence. So just to be aware, it's a little later in your package than the second position. Does council wish to support this? Okay, I'm not seeing anyone. So is this something you want to file? Okay. Again, just be aware we do have continued to have some physician shortages, certainly around our emergency department at St. Francis Memorial Hospital. And as many other Ontario rural communities are finding, healthcare at emergency departments is becoming very difficult to maintain services without enough doctors and nurses. So, all right, we will file that one for now. A resolution from the town of Aurora dated May 31st, 2022 regarding mandatory firefighter certification. Does council wish to support this? Okay, I'm not seeing any. Sorry, Councillor Poplinski.
Yes, I think it's worthy of support.
Okay.
You know, there's still a lot of demands being made as to the level of service that we need to provide. And so far, we're not having anything back that I could see in a positive nature in terms of being compensated. And I think we just need to keep the pressure on, because they're talking about training centers, but even so, these training centers are not going to be in our area. They'll be at some spot where our people will have to travel to, and then of course we'd have to pick up the cost. But I think we need to keep on top of it, and the only way is to keep supporting motions like this for petitions. And I think that it certainly can't hurt.
Okay, Councillor, would you like to move it then, that we
I will-
send a letter of support?
I will do so.
Okay, moved by Councillor Poplinski that we send a letter of support on this. Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Wilmer. Is there any other discussion on this then? Any further discussion? Again, this is an ongoing issue. I don't think at this point, this to continue to stay in the loop. Councillor Wilmer, did you want to speak to it? I noticed you unmuted.
No, I was just waiting for the next item.
Okay, all right, then I'll call the vote. All those in favor? All right, and that's carried. And the next is a resolution from the town of Arnprior dated June 14th, 2022 regarding a private members bill C-233, Kira's Law. And Councillor Wilmer, you wanted to speak to this.
I just wanted to say, I think this is something that we should support, and I'm willing to move that we support it.
Okay, so moved by Councillor Wilmer that we support this resolution. Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Schulist. Any discussion on this? Councillor Poplinski, sorry.
Yes, Mayor Lev, thank you. My big concern about this whole, and I want to support this because I think we need to get it more, keep it in the topic of conversation. But my big concern was that this horrible event happened in 2015, and it wasn't until June of this year, 7 years later, that the inquest was held. And that, to my understanding, that's a very, very slow period. It's like closing the barn door after hopefully some changes were made before and we weren't aware of it. But normally the inquests are to prevent furtherance of this sort of activity. My big concern is the 7 years, and I would certainly would like to. We don't want to see that happen again, and hopefully we can address it in some way, maybe at another forum. I don't know, but it is a major concern to me.
Okay, thank you. I think we do need to support this then. The timeline, certainly, as you mentioned, is saddening because it is so long. And you know, there's probably been many victims between the event that occurred in our community and surrounding area and today as we sit here with this resolution in front of us. But I think if we don't support this, it doesn't put any pressure on. So we definitely need to support this and continue the pressure to ensure that something is done. To make the changes that we need to ensure that women and children who find themselves in abusive situations or victims of violence, that they're protected. So I'm hoping council will support. Councillor Wilmer.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I agree with Councillor Poplinski's comments that it's far too long. 7 years is just ridiculous. And I think, though, by supporting things like Kira's Law, it may help create the change that allows processes like that to become more efficient, effective, and more efficient. So that's why I think this is important to support.
Okay, absolutely. Any further? Okay, I better check. Did I get a mover and a seconder? I think I did.
You did?
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I just wanted to verify that. So is there any further discussion then on this? Okay, so all those in favor? And that's carried. All right, next we have a resolution from the, I don't know, the resolution I got was from the city of Mississauga. So municipality of Brighton is on the agenda, but I think it's city of Mississauga dated June 20th, 2022 regarding an Amber Alert. Is there any desire to send a letter of support on this? Is this something that council would prefer just to file at this point in time? Okay. All right, for the moment, we will file this one then. I'm sure we'll be hearing more. Next is a resolution from the Township of Matachewan. Struggle with that. Sorry, say that, Councillor Poplinski?
Matachewan.
Matachewan. Okay, I knew there had to be a pronunciation problem with that from me, so thank you for that. It's dated June 28th, 2022 regarding the voters list, and they're looking to add mailing addresses to what is distributed to candidates for election. Is there any willingness to support this? I would note that when you have a large seasonal population, often the only way you as a candidate or anyone as a candidate can ensure that they have an opportunity to communicate with that population is through the mailing address. Councillor Poplinski.
Yes, thanks, Mayor Love. I would certainly support this. I think it would be very helpful for those that are running. And as you said, where so many people are not residents in the area full time, so it would be a great help. So I would support it.
Okay, thank you. So a letter of support is moved by Councillor Poplinski. Do I have a seconder?
Certainly.
Seconded by Councillor Wilmer. Is there any further discussion on that resolution? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. And it's the final one. We have a resolution from the County of Frontenac dated July 4th, 2022 regarding Alliance Action Plan and Social and Economic Impact for Small Communities in Ontario. Is there any interest in support from council on this resolution? Okay, I'm not seeing any, so I think this one council would prefer just to file. Thank you. All right. That takes us through our correspondence, and we move to unfinished business, and I'm going to go to Sue because she has something that she wants to announce.
Just an update for council. We did complete the interviews, and the offer of employment offers have been accepted for the Facilities and Park Supervisor position. Stuart Pegg has accepted the employment offer for the PJYCC, and Sarah Bowles has accepted the position for the Administrative Assistant reporting to the Manager of Planning and Development. They will be introduced to council at the next council meeting.
Okay, thank you, Sue, and congratulations to both of them. It's great to be filling these positions and having new members of our municipal team. Any questions from council on that? Councillor Proplinski.
Yes, Mayor Love, I heard the CAO speaking, but I couldn't distinguish who she said was successful.
Oh, sorry, just speak up here. Stuart Pegg is the Facilities and Parks Supervisor, and
Okay.
Sarah Bowles, the successful Administrative Assistant position.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, and as I said, congratulations to both of them. Looking forward to them joining the team. And that completes finance and administration. It also completes the council and committee portion of our meeting, and we will move into the regular council portion of the agenda. Starting with the confirmation of the minutes, we have public meeting minutes for July 12th, 2022. The recommendation is that the public meeting minutes for July 12th, 2022 be approved as presented. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Schulist, seconded by Councillor Bromwich. Any errors or omissions on these minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Next are the special council meeting minutes of July 12th, 2022. The recommendation is that the special council meeting minutes for July 12th, 2022 be approved as presented. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Bromwich, seconded by Councillor Proplinski. Any errors or omissions on these minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Any business arising from the minutes? Okay, don't see any business arising. All right, we will move then on into bylaws. Our first bylaw is bylaw 2022-62 regarding establish a memorandum of understanding between the Township of Madawaska Valley and the Station Keepers MV. And before I read the recommendations, Sue, I believe you wanted to speak to this.
Yes, I just wanted to mention that on June 7th, the first and second reading, which were moved and seconded by Councillor Wilmer and Councillor Schulist, the bylaw before you for the third reading. We have made the changes as it pertains to the insurance clarification. Those changes were redlined and attached to the recreation report. And just wanted to ensure that both the mover and the seconder wanted to confirm that it reflects the changes that were identified, as they'll be asked to re-sign the bylaw with those changes.
Okay, so do I need to seek their confirmation then?
Yes,
The mover
please.
and the seconder. Are we both good with this?
I'm
Councillor
good.
Yes,
Wilmer
Yes, I am good with this. Absolutely.
and Councillor Schulist. So they're both good with the changes. So with that, then what I'll do is I'll read the recommendation. The recommendation is that bylaw 2022-62 being a bylaw to establish a terms of reference for the Station Keepers MV and to establish a memorandum of understanding between the Township of Madawaska Valley and the Station Keepers MV with respect to the facility use of the Barry's Bay Railway Station be given third and final reading the second day of August 2022 as amended. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Proplinski, seconded by Councillor Bromwich. Any final discussion on this bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Next, we have bylaw 2022-70 regarding a zoning bylaw amendment for Fulford. The recommendation is that bylaw 2022-70, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 2006-26 of the Township of Madawaska Valley as amended, be given first and second reading the second day of August 2022. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Wilmer, seconded by Councillor Schulist. Any discussion on this bylaw? Councillor Proplinski, was your pen up?
No, it wasn't, Mayor.
Okay, sorry, I saw it
No.
go by the screen, so I wanted
Oh,
to make
sorry, I
sure.
was chasing the
okay.
fly here.
All right, so since there's no discussion, all those in favor? And that's carried. The recommendation is that bylaw 2022-70 be given third and final reading the second day of August 2022. Moved by Councillor Bromwich, seconded by Councillor Schulist. Any final discussion on this bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Finally, we have bylaw 2022-71 regarding used consumer type portable battery recycling agreement between Call to Recycle Canada and the Corporation of the Township of Madawaska Valley. I wouldn't want to have to say that 4 times after a glass of wine. My goodness. The recommendation is that bylaw 2022-71, being a bylaw to authorize the entering into and the execution of a used consumer type portable battery recycling agreement between Call to Recycle Canada Incorporated and the Corporation of the Township of Madawaska Valley, be given first and second reading this second day of August 2022. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Schulis, seconded by Councillor Wilmer. Is there any discussion on this bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. The recommendation is that bylaw 2022-71 be given third and final reading the second day of August 2022. Moved by Councillor Poplinski, seconded by Councillor Bromwich. Any final discussion on this bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. All right, next we do have an in-camera session. We are going to go in camera. We will break for lunch and the in-camera session will start at 1 p.m. The recommendation is that the meeting enter in-camera session to discuss matters pertaining to personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, labor relations or employee negotiations, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board, advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. Ontario Municipal Act 2001, Chapter 25, Section 239, 2B, E, D, and F. Number 1 is the special council meeting minutes in camera of July 12th, 2022. Number 2 is court file number CV-21-00000002-0000. Amanda Godet of Intact Public Entities. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Wilmer, seconded by Councillor Schulis. All those in favor? And that's carried.